Okay. Hi, guys. Welcome to tonight's team call. Tonight, Rachel DiMatteo is going to go over unleashing your superpower, and I am super excited to hear from her. Her team is absolutely crushing it. She's one of the most dedicated and consistent coaches you will ever meet, and I just learned something new from her all the time. She started as a coach when she was 4 weeks postpartum, which is hilarious to me because I didn't have a kid yet. Our babies are a little less than a year apart. And she was like, "Can I do this as a new mom?" I'm like, "Girl, of course you can." I had no idea what it was like being in newborn land, but she's crazy. She's rocked her business. And she's awesome. So she's going to go ahead and go do our recognition, our shout outs, and team call. So take it away, girlfriend.
Awesome. Okay, I'm going to share my screen really quick. There's a lot of recognition. So I hope I got it all here. I was just telling April, I literally went to send these all to myself on Facebook, and I sent them to a different Rachel DiMatteo who just answered with a thumbs up. And I was like, oh, oops. So anyway, hopefully she doesn't respond with anything. Okay, so already you guys, this is so awesome. So Success Club 5, and I was just talking to Casey. I know this isn't completely updated. So if you have more, you can post below. I know that I'm at Success Club, but Jess Rio's at 8. I think she's at 10 now. Hannah's at 6. April's at 6. Casey, Sabrina, Maddie, myself on here at 4. Sky at 4. Sky's a brand new coach. She just signed up like 2 days ago. So you go, girl. Courtney, Ray, Andrea, Stacy, Felicia, Amy, Justin, Janine, Kelly, Sarah, Kayla, Jessica, Nicole, Samantha, Kayla, Amanda, Kate, all at 2. You guys, this is incredible. So plenty of time to get your names all the way up to the tippy top. So I'm excited to see what our team does and how many lives we change in the month of May. The top 10 coaches of the week. Hannah has been strong at number 1 for like, I don't know, a really long time. So you go, girl. Myself, Jess, Melissa, Maddie, Kayla, Sky, Sabrina, Casey, and Nicole. I love seeing all the newer faces on here. Coaches who are like literally just crushing it right off the bat. So that is absolutely incredible. Congrats, guys. And now we're going to shout out some Emerald coaches. Taylor, congratulations. Sarah Vance, congratulations. She just hit Emerald also. Kayla just hit Emerald. Chloe just hit Emerald. And I think Heather said she just signed up like 4 days ago. So you go, girl. Jess just officially became a success starter. So congratulations, Jess. Janine just became a success starter. So congratulations, you guys. Oh, that must be it. I thought there was more. Hannah, there might have been more. I think she sent me maybe 1 or 2 of her coaches that are in month 1 or 2 qualification. And I know that Casey has some too. So I'm sorry. But you guys are killing it. That's absolutely incredible. I'm going to stop sharing my screen right now. Hannah, if you're on here and you just want to celebrate them in the comments. I know Casey's coach, Nicole, is in month 2 of her. She actually will be in month 3 of her qualification, I believe. Yeah. And then Sky just officially got her month 1, which is really exciting. And like I said, she just signed up this week. So you guys are absolutely killing it. And Success Starter is just so exciting, especially now that you get to be in a test group. Like Casey is going to be in the MBF test group. So now more than ever, Success Starter is just incredible. So I'm so happy for all of you guys. All right. So I'm going to bring up my notes because I am totally a squirrel and I want to make sure that I don't get sidetracked at all. But anyway, all right. So I want to ask your permission tonight, you guys, for me to give you guys, and anybody who knows me knows I'm kind of a tough love person. It's just my language, and it's more just love. It's just love bombs, because I know that right now can seem like a tough time, but I also know that, I mean, and you guys have seen it, our business as a whole is seeing so much success. And we have the potential now to just make a huge difference. So I want to talk to you guys about unleashing your superpower. And the first thing is I really want you guys to get yourself in a state of gratitude right now, knowing and recognizing that you do have a superpower, okay? We all do. God created all of us uniquely and wonderfully with specific traits and talents to live out our purpose in this life. So no 2 coaches, no 2 of us on this team are the same. We all have unique gifts and talents, and we were all put here for an incredible purpose. And I think just starting the night out with that grateful heart and knowing that God has like such a purpose for you is just such a great way to start. And Jim Rohn once said, and this is something that I talk about frequently, but he once said to make a list of all the things that you're willing to do in your business, right? So what do you do on a daily basis? You know, you show up for your workout, you post on your stories, you check in your challenge group, maybe you host a challenge group, you send invites, you add to your following, like all these things that as business owners, we are willing to do, okay? Now throw that list away because it's useless. All those things are obstacles that you once overcame, which is amazing. Remember the first time you posted on social media, how scary it was. Now I post transformations and it's like, yes, I'm celebrating myself, not like I need to hide my phone because I'm going to vomit. What is Sally from the second grade going to think of me? Instead, I want you guys to think about making a smaller list of the things that you have been unwilling to sacrifice for your business, okay? Is it Netflix? Is it sleep? Is it naps? Treats? Are you self-sabotaging in your nutrition? Cocktail hour? I know obviously that we can't go anywhere right now, but like April said, there are people getting drunk on Zoom all the time. So whatever it is, I want you, and I know as soon as I said that, something came to mind. There's something that if you could sacrifice that one thing, that you would see more success in your business. So I really want you to think about that, okay? The other thing is a lot of the times when I say, what are those things you're not willing to sacrifice? People like to say, my family, okay? And let's not get our priorities and our core values mixed up with our list of things that we're unwilling to sacrifice, because your family, your husband, your relationships, like obviously, yes, I'm talking about those other things that is robbing you of your time that you're having a hard time sacrifice, okay? And I want you, if you're brave enough, to write the first thing that came to mind in the chat. For me, it was sleep for a long time. I just had trouble getting a morning routine, and I knew that if I wanted to have a successful business, I had to wake up before my kids. I just had to have that diligence and that consistency that I would give myself a good chunk of time to just be in my own head and not wake up with, on defense with those toddler demands, okay? I also want you to think about your top priorities in life, right? And I want to ask you, does your business make the cut of that? Because if it doesn't, you guys, you're in trouble. A lot of the times your business can be a solution and a means to the other 4 priorities, okay? So if you guys have never heard the top 5 priorities, I think it was in the Compound Effect. But he asked you to make a list of your very top priorities that are in your life. And right now for me, personally, I can't think of more than 3 because I'm just in a season of life where 3 is good for me and I don't want to take on any more than that. And that's number 1 is God. Number 2 is my family. And if you want to separate that to my husband and my kids, that could be, 2 there. And then number 3 is my business. And yes, there are other things that are important to me, but right now in my season of life, these things coexist for a reason, right? God gave me my beautiful family. He gave me this platform. And with this platform, I'm able to speak about my faith. I'm able to create more presence in my family's life. I've been able to stay home with my kids because of this business. So you see how that this business is a platform for my ministry, and it's also a means to create freedom for my family. Your priorities in your business should mix, and you should be able to start seeing the positivity of really committing to your business, okay? So how do you start unleashing your superpower in your business? Number 1, get in state. I know I talked about this a lot when I came home from Tony Robbins, but getting in the right mindset means everything, you guys. We've all seen those people on Instagram who are just super monotone, who don't seem excited to show up. And you have to ask yourself, am I acting excited? Am I posting with excitement and enthusiasm, Because that portrays out to other people. Other people can sense whether you are having a good time and you're being a light, or if you are dreading showing up because your coach told you that you needed to do so, and you're not enjoying yourself at all, okay? So figure out what your trigger is. What can get you into that mindset? What can get you into state? For me, music is like my second language. If I can put on some good jams and I can have a dance party, I am going to get in peak state. I'm going to show up in the right mindset. So even if you're having the worst day, think about what that trigger is. What is it for you? Is it music? Is it dancing? Is it a motivational video? You guys, if you go on YouTube and you look up like 5-minute motivational videos, Will Smith has some amazing ones that can just like flip you around to really look at life through a different lens and realize how blessed and grateful we really should be. So make sure that you're showing up like that, because honestly, it is my goal to be as contagious and vibrant and energetic and happy, because that is what people are attracted to. I'm going to tell you a quick story. When I went down to Miami to go to Tony Robbins' seminar, my mom was born in Cuba, so my whole family lives in Miami still. And I met my cousin Victor at a Cuban restaurant, and we were talking, and he's like, Rach, he's like, I literally used to watch your videos every single morning at 5 a.m. And then it got to the point where I was like, how can she be so happy? How can she be smiling and so energetic at 5 o'clock in the morning? And he's like, and I had to stop watching you because I just was not ready to be happy yet. And he's like, I'm sorry to tell you that. I'm like, no, that is like the best compliment. Like, I hope that I'm either that person who brings sunshine to somebody's life or that annoys the crap out of them until they're like, okay, I can't deal with that. Like, that is positivity that the world needs, especially right now, you guys. So be that light and figure out what kind of mindset you need to be in to show up like that, right? So some of you might be brand new coaches. Some of you might be here for a while and haven't seen any success in your business because maybe you haven't given it your all. Maybe you were in the business and you gave it some momentum and then you left and you've kind of dabbled, okay? But mostly for new coaches, you might not feel confident showing up, right? But in the beginning, when you choose to go all in with your business, you need more commitment than you need confidence, right? Because once you are committed to showing up for your business, for your life, the confidence will come. But you have to be committed. You have to show up. And the thoughts that you are thinking right now and daily are literally shaping your future. Mindset is crucial. So get in state. Number 2, switch your decision-making process to take action on what you've committed to. And I'll say that again. Switch your decision-making process to take action on what you've committed to. Because I'll tell you, 90% of people base their decisions on how they're feeling. On, I'm too tired to send invites, or I don't want to stay up late, I've had a long day at work, or everyone's ignoring me, so why should I even bother? I'm going through a hard season, so I'm going to give myself grace. You guys, I had to have this talk with myself recently, like, Rachel, you can only give yourself so much grace, honey, before God's like, okay, yes, I'm giving you grace in certain seasons, but I'm also giving you endless potential. I've given you these gifts. I've given you these traits. I've given you all of these things, and I expect you to create greatness from it, right? Like, I know that it can be daunting and, seem difficult in the long run to keep showing up, but you guys, this business is simple. It's so much about our mindset and just making that commitment to us. So yes, in certain seasons, give yourself grace, but I also want you to ask yourself the hard question of, are you using that as your excuse? Because the difference between you and the other 10% is they don't give themselves that excuse. They show up no matter what because they made a commitment to themselves, to their family, to their business, right? So there's a reason that our compensation plan says like each coach's income is based solely off of, our own diligence, skill, and effort, because it's our effort. If we are not giving this business and our growth, because I think more than anything, like, we have to grow as humans to be able to grow in the business first, right? If we're not giving that our effort, then how can we expect to be moving forward? If we're not committing to showing up daily, how can we commit to moving forward? Like, how are we going to move forward? You guys, I'm just being super honest when I'm saying no one's going to save you. This call cannot save you. Your upline can't save you. We can teach, lead, and try to inspire you. But if you don't start stepping up to the plate in your life and in your business, you're going to look the exact same 5 years from now that you look right now. And that was a hard truth I had to give myself a year ago. I literally, and my team knows this, but I wrote myself a vision, and then I wrote myself a letter to myself 5 years from now. And it started, Rachel, 5 years from now, you are going to wish that you showed up the way today so that you can have the future right now that you have. And I had to tell myself every single day, Rachel, are you showing up like that? Are you showing up for like the Rachel from 5 years from now would be so proud of you, and that you'd be so proud of the life that you built and the freedom that you've created in your family and in your parents and the good that you've been able to do, right? And it's scary, you guys, because we know, we've seen it from top coaches. We know how much of a difference 5 years can make. And I think about like 5 years when I was at the hospital. Yeah, I got like my yearly dollar raise, but like, you guys, this business is amazing, right? And we know the gold mine that we're sitting on if we're just willing to give it a couple years of hustle. So just drop your excuses because they're not serving you, okay? You are the key to your success, and how you act and how you show up, your state matters. You guys know who Lindsay Matway is. I absolutely adore her. She was a top coach in 2013, I believe. But she is the only coach who's ever gone Superstar Diamond in 4 Business Center. She's the top earner of our entire company. I mean, I don't even know how much money she makes, so much. But when she was first getting started, her back was against the wall. She had like $400,000 worth of debt. And one of her first working coaches, I believe, he might have been like, I don't know what number he was, but anyway, Scotty Hobbs, who's also a very successful coach, was one of her first working coaches that she got signed up. And if you ever hear Scotty Hobbs' story, when he says that Lindsay got him on the phone, he's like, I literally thought Lindsay was the president of Beachbody. Like the way she carried herself, the way she talked, she didn't lie and say she was somewhere or she was making more money or she was at a certain rank. But he's like, I literally thought she invented Beachbody because she just knew where she was going. She was one of those people who was like, I am on this train. I don't know who's coming with me, but I'm going here with or without you. And he's like, and that was the momentum I didn't want to miss out on. I didn't want to miss out on that. On whatever she had going, I wanted to be a part of that, you guys. And that's what we need. We need to show up like our future self that we want to be. We need to show up like those elite coaches, like those top coaches, and just have that confidence of not needing to respond to messages right away because they're going to be there. You know, I remember as a new coach, anytime I'd get a message, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to do this right away. Or, you know, and you guys all know that feeling. But really just stopping and pausing and saying, instead of word vomiting on this person, like how would an elite coach, you know, handle this situation, right? So definitely just show up like that future self, because confidence is contagious and it is attractive to other people too, right? And when we start acting like that, we start believing it. And we all, you guys, we all have excuses that are robbing us from our ability to be successful. So I'm going to talk about a couple of them, okay? Because I really want you to think about what yours is. What's your limiting belief? What are you hiding behind? And try to nip that in the bud so that you can move forward in your business. I know that a lot of people right now are probably using this pandemic, you guys, but I don't really need to go far into this because just last week, a typical week, I believe, for Beachbody is popping like 80 diamonds a week. Last week, we popped over 200. You know, our numbers are through the roof. Like people are seeing more success. I mean, our company is seeing more success now more than ever. And I really don't believe it's necessarily just because of health and wellness. I believe it's because of community. And I went live in my team page yesterday and I just said, like, people need your kindness. They need your heart. They need your servant, like leadership. Like they just need you, but you have to be willing to go out and do it. And I hear people say that they'll be more successful when they have more followers. Yet I did my research and there are multiple superstar diamond coaches who have less than 2,000 followers on Instagram. And there are also coaches who have over 100,000 followers whose names you've never heard of because they don't show up for their business. And I also hear people say that when I get a transformation, and while I believe that this is honestly vital, I do believe that you need to be showing up for yourself every single day. But I don't believe that you need to have that transformation in the beginning to be a successful coach. Because look at Coach Tulin. If you guys don't know who that is, she's been a coach for I don't know how long, super successful, and she rocks plus size fitness. She was actually featured in our new shift shop, the new shift shop that Proving Grounds. So you don't need the transformation right off the bat. You just need to be working on yourself every single day. Or maybe you think you don't have a story, or that you're boring, or that you're not relatable. You guys, our top coach, Ashley Molstat, I still am like baffled by this. She's been our top coach for 2 years, literally built her brand and her business on drinking alcohol and dropping F-bombs in a health and wellness industry. Like that was an impossibility until it wasn't, because she just decided to do it. So one of the things that I feel like I used to tell myself a lot was like, you get that mom guilt, right? So a lot of you moms that are on here, maybe you're telling yourself you feel guilty taking time away from your kids, or maybe it's your spouse or your boyfriend or your girlfriend or whatever. But you can flip that around really quick and say that you should be showing up for them, because you know the impact and you know the legacy that this can create. You know the ripple effect that this can create. And also, your kids, your children, our children deserve a parent who's living up to their highest potential. I know for me, if I want Reagan, my daughter, to grow up and do amazing things in this life, I sure as heck am not going to let them grow up and say, Mommy didn't build her business because you guys were little and, I didn't want to take time away from you. No, I want to lead by example so she can see the sky is the limit. And I want to ask you guys, can you honestly look at your kiddos and say that's you, that you're showing up constantly as your best self, at least trying. And I know that times can be, I know, trust me, mom life, that there's different seasons. But I think that was the hardest realization for me, was to actually look at my kids and say, I am doing you such a disservice by not showing up better. I know I can do more. I know I can be more for you guys, because they're what I build my life around, right? So you need to unpack that fear that's holding you back, because there are people out there who are less qualified than you are, who are doing the things that you want to do, seeing the success you want to see, and living the life that you want to live simply because they decided to believe in themselves. Nothing more. All other people's success means is that there is proof that your dreams are possible. And I think that's so powerful. I always tell my coaches to draw a line in the sand and choose to make it happen today. And obviously, you guys, we're all in quarantine. Nobody's going to the beach anytime soon. We're not seeing any sand. So instead, I want to ask you guys to draw a line in your life, in your life, in your business. I want to ask you to draw that line. We're in a worldwide pandemic right now, yet our company is seeing more success than ever. And what we do today, how we show up tonight, right now, it matters, you guys. It matters to the other yous who need this, right? So choose to show up different. Choose to show up better. Choose to serve more. Choose to offer this gift to people that you know need it. And lastly, I want you guys to make sure, I'm giving you homework, that you are making a list of those things that you've been unwilling to sacrifice, whether it's sleep, naps, Netflix. If you watched, what is that show? Heather, what is that show? Whatever it is, Tiger Wife, or whatever that is, you could have used, you could have used your time better. Okay. So if it's Netflix for you, whatever it is, I want you to write it down, and I want you to try to cross one thing off of that list every single month. Focus on having a morning routine. Focus on putting your kids to bed and maybe staying up an hour later if you know you're a night owl and you can handle that better, rather than starting a morning routine. Give up that 30 minutes of Netflix. Leave it for a special day. That's why Mike and I have date nights on Friday nights. It's I'm not going to be able to watch Netflix with you every night, but I will make sure Friday nights are my Sabbath. I'm going to take off of work and we're going to spend quality time together. But try to cross one of those things off every single month, because every single month, you will know you're better for it. You will know that you are willing to do what it takes to succeed. And that's all you can do, is just try to be better every single day. Okay, so that's all I got for you guys. I did not look at the chat at all because I will get super distracted. But does anybody have any questions about anything? Let me go through these.
One thing that I love so much, I just loved everything. I was hoping that you would bring stuff from Tony Robbins when I heard that your topic. So it was really good. And one thing that I loved so much was your second point when you said, switch the decision-making process to take action on what you've committed to. Because so many times we think about and we talk about goals and we talk about things that we want to happen, and the missing piece is taking action. So I have been really trying to tell my, coaches and my team, if you're not sending invites, you're not clocking into your business. It's the taking action, it's the following up, it's the new invites and new connections and things like that that's going to benefit you later. So instead of being well, I made a TikTok video and I did Triller and I did my workout and I logged my Shakeology and I scrolled Instagram and I liked 10 photos, did you invite? Did you make a connection? And that is where you really need to be putting your focus, is the action. And sometimes I'm a chronic anxiety struggler, and I talk about that a lot. And so one thing that I really cripples me sometimes, where I'm like so scatterbrained, so stressed out that I don't even know where to take action. So I sit frozen in fear. And if you've ever been in that place, you just need to focus on getting out of that place. So personal development, if you ever feel frozen in fear, one of my favorites is Take Control of Your Life by Mel Robbins on Audible. She like kills it and talks about like being frozen in fear. And there's also a really great coaching session by Bob Heilig on Your Virtual Upline, where he does like a live coaching. I'll find it and I'll share it later in the chat. But that really hit home with me because that's something that I'm even guilty of sometimes. And I just love that.
Yeah. And I think honestly, like, it hurts us worse when we don't show up for a certain amount of time. Like, I know for me, it's almost like that guilt gets heavier and heavier and heavier, where you feel almost like you're crippled and you can't come back, from it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it is like consistency is your best friend, because even if you can only send, 3 invites, connect with 5 people, and that's it, at least you did something and you showed up. And I think even doing that is so important, to just like have that discipline and that action.
I don't think there's really any questions in here, just like, yes, queen. So does anybody have anything?
Lion husband.
Tiger wife. Clearly, Bill only has goals and doesn't have time for tiger wife. So.
Oh, that's so funny. I literally only allow myself to watch movies so that I don't get addicted to shows, because I will get addicted to shows. So
Yeah.
that's funny.
And that's honestly really great. And I feel like I'm like a grandma in this business because I've been around for so long. And there were so many nights where I just sacrificed sleep. I didn't have cable. I didn't have a TV for the longest time. I didn't let myself do it. I didn't go out to the bars with my friends. Like, I literally just lived, ate and breathed this business, my family. And, um, if I had a second, like an extra minute, like it was spent on my business. I carried my tracker everywhere I went, guys. And I did my laptop. If I was driving, we were constantly driving back and forth from Fayetteville. 2.5 hours. We commuted for 2 years. And I was on my computer the whole time. We go to Matt's grandma's house. I bring my computer. I'm visiting, I talk, and then I'm on my computer. And I'm not saying that you need to like live, eat, and breathe it. But if you want to sit there and say, oh, I wish I could cycle as many times as April can, you need to be willing to put in the work to get there. And I don't want to like think that people just think that like you just like become successful in Beachbody. If you see anybody that is killing it in this business, is because they've worked their butt off to get it. So I think that's the most important thing, is like grind now and work now how others won't, so you can live later how others can't. And that's like the biggest like takeaway that I think that anybody can have from this message is think about your goals, think about your vision. What are you willing to sacrifice? And if you're not willing to sacrifice it, that's okay. But you have to be okay with just being like a hobby coach. If your like, goal was a legacy, you got to sacrifice now so you can live later how others can't. That's all I got.
Yay. Okay, let's get a picture before we forget. Do you want to stop the recording so we don't have to?